And welcome back to another episode of Life in Prison. My name is Zach, and if you're new, haven't already done it, interested, go ahead, hit the subscribe button. While you're at it, hit that bell notification button so you'll be first informed when I upload. And if you like it, enjoy it, hit that like button. So today what we're going to be getting into is selling dope. So unfortunately, there's been a lot of people that I did a lot of time with that are locked up for drug charges, okay? And the thing is, most people get more time selling drugs or dope than they do for actually killing somebody. And most people that catch these drug charges are actually wanting them to go federal time just because you get less time for selling drugs in the feds than you do for state time. A lot of people get hit 30 years for selling, 3 ounces of heroin. And recently the whole drug epidemic thing it's going crazy because back in the day, whenever I was in the mix of things, fentanyl was not a thing. People weren't cutting their heroin or even these pills. I've known people that have been in the news recently that are cutting marijuana with fentanyl, putting fentanyl in marijuana. Why would you do something like that? The problem is most people don't know what they're selling. Back in the day, if you went up top to go to re-up, right? 90% of the time, the people that you're getting it from, they're going to know exactly what's in it. Reason being is because you want to know what you're getting rid of, right? It makes complete sense. That way, if you know what's in your stuff, that way you know how many times you can cut it to stretch it out. If you don't know what you're dealing with and you just get the cut, it makes sense. You want to know what inventory you have and want to know all about it, right? Now there's, you go to festivals and stuff and they have these safe zones, these safe huts where people are taking their drugs and testing them to see what they have, and most of the time what's coming back isn't what they think it is, especially nowadays, like this Molly and stuff, right? Most of the time people are either getting bath salts or this fucking crazy shit, this boot stuff that's going around. People aren't getting rid of what they're used to, right? So back in the day, it was a lot easier. Transition from pills to then heroin, it was much easier. And with me living this close to Baltimore, that was the hub. That's where everybody went to go get their dope or pills, right? You can go down to Baltimore, Lockern, you can go down to Emerson Ave, Emerson Village, North Chapelgate. There was an individual, I'm not gonna say his name, but he went down to Baltimore and tried to get somebody for some pills, right? It was like $1,200 worth of pills, pretty much a script, right? They took his license plate number down. They got him, right? They came back up here. Instead of hurting him, they burned his car to the crisp. You go down there, and then you get a finger. A finger is 10 grams, all right? And this is some peanut butter. This is some good stuff, you know what I'm saying? You spend $50, $60. As long as you get a finger, 10 grams or more, it's going to be about $50, $60. If not, if you come down here and get 1, 2, 3, couple grams, people are going to probably charge you 70, 80, 90. I've seen people get charged 120 a gram. But they're bringing it up here towards this area, Frederick, Martinsburg, Hagerstown, Winchester, Pennsylvania areas, and they're selling this stuff for, breaking it down. You can get $400, $500, $600 out of a gram if you break it down. So you go down there and they weigh the shit on your car, like one way in, one way out, but these are all Baltimore City dope boys down there. So going into this neighborhood, you don't have to worry. No one's going to say anything. You getting fucking 40, 50 grams? Okay, you're going to be paying $20, $30 a gram. In our head, that's a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? That's super cheap. But what these boys is getting for is pennies on the dollar. You know what I'm saying? So as long as you go down there and get, 10 or more grams, you're going to be spending $500 and up. But when you come up here, that's instantly going to fucking quadruple. And you're going to definitely make $5 back. You know what I'm saying? But with the pills, I never sold dope. I was never a dope boy. I never did the dope thing. I had plenty of friends that sold mounds of dope. I mean, like mounds of dope. And, I was just talking to my girlfriend tonight, and we were talking about how many people do you guys know who sold drugs, right? Who actually touched six figures, right? Because there's a lot of people that I know who sold drugs, right? But you always get caught. There's not one person that I know that have sold drugs that reached six figures and never did jail time or prison time for selling drugs. You're trying to get to this number. You're trying to make this much. What you're actually really doing is you're selling all this to find a spot in prison. I tell you, if you're out there selling dope, or if you know someone that's selling dope, anything, any drugs, you're going to get caught. And the reason being is because even if you may be as safe and as smart as possible, right? Because at the end of the day, you don't want a rack of people to be your clientele, right? A bunch of customers. If you have a select few, 5, 6 individuals, right, that come every week, consistently spending $4, $5, $6, $700 a week, because at the end of the day, you don't want having clientele that has no money, right? The ones that come by $10, $20, $30 multiple times, right? Those are the type of people that you don't want as clientele if you're selling dope. Reason being is because most likely they're doing shady shit to get their money. Going out to the store, robbing a bunch of meat places, going and selling this meat, going and boosting clothes and stuff like that. Those are the people that get locked up faster. And what do you think a junkie's gonna do? They're gonna do anything in their power to get out of jail. In my head, it was easier selling pills than was dope, right? All my homeboys sold dope, but I didn't go down that route. I always thought pills was easier because, for one, you didn't have to weigh anything out, right? You can stick $1,500 worth of pills. If you get in prison, is a term called prison suitcase, right? Is whenever someone runs in, you stick things in your butt cheeks. So let me ask you this. Say you're driving down the road, you just went up top and you copped, right? Say if you were to take $1,500 worth of any of these drugs, let's just say that. If you were to take $1,500 worth of coke, $1,500 worth of dope, crack, weed, right? Quantity, it's mass. If you get pulled over, you're not gonna be able to hide that. But if you have $1,500 worth of pills, right? If you had 50 Roxy 30s in a bag, right? A little bag like this big. You can hide that. Drug dogs can smell crack, coke, marijuana, meth a lot easier than they can smell pills. Plus, if someone wants, hey, I need 5 Roxy 30s, right? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, done and over with. Does everyone remember when we had the oxycodone epidemic? A lot of people were dying. These Oxy 80s were going for well over than quadruple their milligram, right? So when the Roxy 15s and 30s came into play, right? They were going for $1 milligram, and then when the Opanas or the oxymorphones came in, since it was pretty much double the milligram off gate, people loved them because once the oxycontins started going to a gel form where you couldn't snort them or shoot them, people had to find something else. Some people didn't want to go to heroin or dope, so they sought out another pill. Well, you got the Dilaudid. A lot of people would shoot the Dilaudid up. A lot of people would shoot up the morphines too, get the pins and needles feeling, you know what I'm saying? But once the Opanas hit the market, that's when everything changed. And being as we're this close to Baltimore, just because didn't go down there and get dope, you sure as hell go down there and get pills. So you go down there and get a script of Roxy 30s, right? If you at least get a whole script, 120, right? They're gonna charge you about $600. It's about $5 a pill. Being in the city, it's easier to get a hold of because down there, the doctors were handing these things out. If you all remember years ago in Martinsburg area, Maryland to Hagerstown, right? A lot of these doctors got arrested and fined and disbarred because they were handing out scripts of 30s. Well, after that got knocked off, people started going down to Baltimore. I had this little connection out in Chattanooga, Tennessee. It's about a 14-hour drive, right? Go down to Chattanooga, Little Debbie factory was down there. As long as you got 10 scripts or more, and each script is 120 pills. So you go down there with 30s, right? You get 10 scripts of 30s, all right, about $600 a script. So if you at least get 10 scripts, that's $6,000, okay? These pills are selling for $30 a piece, $35, $40, $45 a piece, but you're paying $5 for the Roxy 30s? Go down to Little Dave's factory, because whenever you go to these plants and stuff, if you get their damaged boxes, their damaged goods, they sell it at a retail price, a mark-off price pretty much, right? So you go down there, go to Little Debbie factory, get a whole box of Debbie cakes, little, oatmeal cakes. Then you open the box up meticulously, you stuff, 20 scripts in this, you making a 14-hour drive, you better be coming back with at least 20 scripts, right? If you're going to pay $5 a piece For 20 scripts, that's $12,000. You know what I'm saying? So that's a come up. Stuff 20 scripts in these little Debbie's boxes, pack them up, drive right back. A lot of people used to go to Baltimore and get the dope because anybody could go down to Baltimore and get dope. But you gotta think, with the heroin, right? Nowadays, people don't know what's going on. When I got out of prison, fentanyl, that's when it really started hitting around this area. 2014, 15, before I got out, it really started booming. I knew nothing about this fentanyl because before I got locked up, the only time you ever heard about fentanyl was the patches, and people would open those up, take the gel out, and do whatever. No one was cutting their heroin with fentanyl. It was either the morphine people would cut it with, or these baby laxatives and a few other things. But it wasn't something to the point where they would die by taking one little grain of this stuff. People don't know what they're doing. A lot of people nowadays, a lot of my buddies and stuff, since me being locked up, they've all caught fed charges. They all caught state charges messing with this dope. Because most of the time, people think, the ones that use, right? Because a user's mindset is different than somebody that does not have addiction or someone that doesn't get high. Whenever someone that does not get high, right? If we see someone over there overdosing on something that they just got, and our head is, why would you put something in your body knowing that you could die, right? A user thinks this way. Well, shit, I'll just do less than what they did, and I'll be good, because that must be some good ass shit because they just fucking died. That's how a user thinks. You know what I'm saying? It's not, oh, they died, it's gonna be dangerous. No, it's that must be some good shit, I'll just do less. It's not worth it. You might think I'm making $1,000 today, I'll make $2,000 tomorrow, and so on and so forth. Let me ask you this though. How many of you have actually, if you've ever sold drugs, how many of you have actually touched $50,000? 60, 75, 100, plus some, right? And I'm not just talking everything combined. I'm talking 50,000 cash, has nothing to do with re-up money. That's just sitting there, right? Okay, and if you ever have, how long did it last for? Most people that make that type of money, they keep going. And what happens? Then you're calling your loved ones from the prison cell. Selling dope gets you nowhere. And the reason being is because I've seen individuals start out buying Roxy 5s, Percocet 5s, then the 10s, then the 20s, then the 30s. Then they skip to the Opanas, Dilaudids, morphines. Once they're blowing $200 a day off 3-4 pills, and it's just getting them well, not getting them high, getting them well. What else can you do? You're not making money like that because you've now quit your job. Those are the times where you hand them over from pills then to heroin. The people that are in these poverty-stricken areas, the only reason why they do some of these activities is to get out of the circumstances that they are in. Have you ever noticed that with social media being as strong as it is now, that the people that grew up in the suburbs, such as myself, right? People that grew up in the suburbs, or people that grew up in a well-to-do family, both mother and father working, made 6 figures a year, in a gated community, the lifestyle that these kids want to live is the lifestyle of inner city children that do not have both parents, that do not have a $50,000 income a year, not even that, who don't have food on the table every night, right? The people that are in the slums want to get to the people that are in the suburbs. The people in the suburbs want to pretend that they came up because it's a harder struggle. At the end of the day, if you grew up in a well-to-do home, accept it, be grateful. No one wants to go to prison. Prison's not fucking cool. Living the gang lifestyle, that's just not cool. You know what I'm saying? Bettering yourself, making yourself a better individual, that's fucking cool. Go ahead and check my buddy over at Stone Collective Podcast over on YouTube. My buddy Caleb, booming as always, along with sister channel Stone Collective Supply Company over on Instagram. Go ahead and check him out. Fire, fire, fire. always on that fire. So as always, if you haven't already done it, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification button so you're first informed when I upload. As always, I send my utmost love, loyalty, respect. Keep y'all heads up, stay positive, and don't ever stop giving up. Stay easy.